Welcome to the review of the Mossberg 590 Thunder Ranch Edition. This is a pump shotgun with an 18.5-inch barrel. It comes optics mount ready. I have a SIG Romeo Zero on there. I'll get into more on that later. It's got a 3-inch chamber. It has a Cerakote finish that Mossberg calls the Patriot brown color. It's got the ambidextrous Mossberg safety right on the back of the receiver here. And other than that, just a plain old pump shotgun. It's got a 6+1 capacity for a total of 7. And today I'm going to be reviewing this as well as exploring the question, do you really need a designated home defense shotgun? I brought along a couple of my other shotguns that I use quite frequently. This is my 12 gauge ATI break action over and under, and this is my waterfowl and pretty much my first ever pump gun. Also 12 gauge, has a 3.5-inch chamber Stoeger P3500. We'll get into these guns more as we go. I just wanted to bring them along because knowing whether or not a specifically designed for home defense shotgun is necessary requires you to have a control group, which is other shotguns that are probably a little bit more common, such as this one. All right, before we get into testing this, I just want to point out I've run 7 or 8 slugs, just 2 3/4 inch 1 ounce slugs rifled through this gun, and as you can probably tell, there is no longer a bead. It used to be very similar to the Stoeger there, with a piece of fiber optic. It is gone. After 7 rounds through this Mossberg, it is gone. Also, when sighting this red dot in for the slugs, I was getting spalling back at my face from somewhere in the chamber. Yes, I shoot left-handed, so it opens up towards my face. That could be part of the issue, but 2 things going against it right off the bat here. Not something that I would expect to see out of a reputable brand such as Mossberg. So with that bit of information, let's load some buckshot in these and let's test the patterns. This is a cylinder bore, so there is no opportunity even to put choke tubes in this gun, which in my opinion, that's not the end of the world that you can't run choke tubes in this. It would just be a nice feature to have. But for a tactical shotgun, there's no rails, there's no heat shield, there is no room for customization. Anyway, double out buck, 9 pellets, aiming dead center. Man, that's got some kick to it. All right, so as you can tell, all 9 pellets hit. We have an interesting pattern here. We have 3 in a row going up on an angle, and then we have another 3 in a row going up on an angle across the torso. 1 flyer, 2 flyers. So I would say that is a pretty good result. Let's go see how the other guns shoot. All right, up next we have the American Tactical Cavalry 12 gauge with a 28-inch barrel. I have it in the bottom barrel, which is also a cylinder bore choke tube in there. So it should be very similar. Let's go see how she did. All right, on this, for the American Tactical, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and there was a 5th miss. So 5 misses, but 4 still hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. So far the Mossberg is winning. I'll mark these shots off and we'll go try the Stoeger. All right, one thing I forgot to mention was the Stoeger has an improved cylinder choke tube in it, so it is slightly more constricted than the cylinder bore on the other 2 guns, but our results indicate a very similar picture. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. The rest were misses. So the Mossberg actually won this, to my surprise. At 20 yards, it has the shortest barrel. We'll run the same test with a lead sled and some 1 ounce rifled slugs. Target is set up at 50 yards. We're loading Winchester Super X 1 ounce slugs, rifled slugs I should say. We're gonna test these guns for accuracy. I suspect with the red dot, I'll be a lot more able to pinpoint. All right, going for center mass. All right. I also want to note that obviously I didn't rack the slide yet, but that slug pushed it back 90% of the way. Up next, we have the American Tactical 12 gauge over and under. This is the Cavalry SX. Firing. Last but not least, we have our Stoeger P3500. With some of my heavier turkey loads, I have had the slide rack back like that, like it did on the Mossberg. We'll see if it happens here. The slide did rack back about 50% of the way. All right. This is from the Mossberg 590. It is well, it's in the 6 zone. And my Stoeger hit in the 7 zone. So I suppose my Stoeger is more accurate than the Mossberg, but with an extra foot of barrel, I would hope that to be the case. Now, the American Tactical hit probably the farthest away, high and right, and that might be due to the choke tube that's in there. Either that or that's just where it throws slugs. I've never shot a slug through it before today. So it looks like the Stoeger took this round. Into the home defense section. Man, these shells just suck. If you've ever hunted waterfowl, or if you're ever thinking about hunting waterfowl, please, please, please do not get the Winchester Super X 3-inch 12 gauge. It patterns like trash. And when you hit ducks with it, it only wounds them, it doesn't kill them. So that is why I'm using them for my home defense section. Now, all I'm doing with this test is checking how maneuverable the gun is. I suspect it'll be way more maneuverable than my Stoeger that I shot in one of my first shooting videos in the house. Because look at the difference in size. That's an extra foot that you don't have to worry about getting around corners and such. Also, your length of pull, which is distance from your trigger to your buttstock, is significantly shorter on the Mossberg as well, making it easier to maneuver within inside of like your shoulder area. We'll clear the house. I've got 4 rounds of steel shot, which is trash, never buy them. That's why I'm using them out here. And I've got 2 targets in the range. This is just to see how maneuverable she feels. If you were watching my video last time when I did this, you would have noticed that the house setup is a little bit different and I went around this left side. But I'm not gonna do that because now I have a purpose-built shotgun. So I should be able to clear corners even though I'm left-handed. And man, does this just suck already. So I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I think I'm just gonna pop out and so I had a malfunction. I'm almost certain I induced it because I short stroked the rack. So obviously both hits. How can you miss with a shotgun from 2 feet away? It's pretty difficult. Look at the freaking mess this thing leaves. Obviously a hit on this too. All the bigger ones are from my last video where I was shooting a 9mm, but look at all that bird shot in there. Pretty maneuverable. This time I'm gonna do a little bit of apples to apples, and I'm gonna come around that side just like I did with my shotgun in my first video with that Stoeger. And now this one, I don't even stand a chance to go this way, so oh my goodness. Home defense clearing the house. Round 2, apples to apples with my Stoeger. I'll put some footage of that in this video too, just in case you missed it. Yeah, I keep short stroking the rack. That is my fault only, so can't blame the gun for that. It racks smooth actually. This gun retails on Mossberg's website for $679 or $699, something like that. I'll throw it up on the screen for you to see. I did not pay that. I paid $500 for it, brand new from Bud's Gun Shop, and then just the tax and FFL stuff there brought it to, I don't know, 550 bucks or so. So it's an affordable shotgun. I like the idea of it. It lacks some features that I would like to see for a home defense shotgun, but I understand given the price point, I would say it makes sense. Now to answer the question, do you need a purpose-built shotgun for home defense? When you already have your hunting shotguns and your bird dog shotguns, no, you don't need it. Nobody needs this. What do you have, 6 guys breaking into your house at once? Even if you did, dropping 3 of them, the other 3 are probably going to start running unless you're wanted by the FBI or something. You don't need it. It's a luxury to have that peace of mind with the extra capacity. It's a luxury to have that maneuverability with the shorter frame and barrel. It's just a luxury. That's what it is.